Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Just in case you're new here, my name is Kisha. I blog every day at kjaggers.com. The link is below. So guess what we're doing today? We are in the kitchen. We're going to be making some delicious strawberry jelly. We're going to be canning it. It's amazing jelly. It tastes so good. And you know, for so many of us, it's strawberry time. Now here in South Carolina, we're coming out of strawberry time because, you know, of the weather. But for many of you, strawberry time is popping up everywhere. So, you know, I highly recommend checking your local farms, seeing if you can pick strawberries, or like us, we couldn't pick them. We had to actually buy them by the gallon. They didn't want people like trampling their beautiful farms, so they don't allow others to pick the strawberries, but that's okay because we got amazing strawberries and didn't have to do that much work to get them. So this jelly, you know, is very easy to make. At least I think it's great for a beginner. I used to make this with my grandmother all the time, and we would actually go pick strawberries and make jam and homemade fruit roll-ups and homemade fruit snacks. Lots of things we did with the fresh fruit we picked, but making jelly is very simple. You'll see in the video, the supplies cost me about $50 to can, and I found all of them at my local Walmart. I will explain that, and we'll go through all the steps. I'm only going to make one batch with you guys, and then I'm going to get busy and make a bunch more. So if you want to see how to make this delicious homemade canned strawberry jam, just keep watching. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha and I blog every day at kjaggers.com. You can find the link below. So I am back today to show you how I remember making jelly. I haven't made jelly without my grandmother in quite a few years. So, you know, I really refreshed myself with the steps. I'm very confident I can make strawberry jelly just as good as hers. And if you want to see how to make it, I'm going to show you everything. We're going to do it in steps, and I'm going to run through all the canning supplies that I have that you will need if you want to make it. And of course, you're going to need your berries. We'll talk about those some. So if you want to see how to make homemade strawberry jelly that you can enjoy all year around and or give some away as gifts, which I intend on doing, just keep watching and I'll show you exactly how I do it. So canning wise, you're going to need a big stock pot with one of these racks in it. So I found mine at Walmart. It was $22. Not too bad. And it already had the rack. So that's what you lower and raise the jars in. And then you're obviously going to need some jars. You can reuse your jars, you just can't reuse the center part. These are 8-ounce jelly jars, and I have 2 packages. I'm going to probably need another one. We'll have to wait and see. A friend who saw my vlog and knew that I was going to be making this jelly suggested that I get out some of my kitchen gloves to screw the bands on, and that was a really good tip. So I got my gloves out. You're going to need this little contraption, which is a jar lifter, so you can lift it in and out of the water. And I got this right at Walmart in the canning area, and this was like $3. You need a wide mouth funnel, and this again was like a couple dollars. It wasn't much. Then this removes the air from the jar, and this is a little magnet lid catcher, so when they're in the hot water you don't have to like burn yourself. You're going to need some fruit pectin, which I might have to go back and get a little bit more, we'll see. And I also got these dissolvable labels. These were only a couple dollars, and I thought it might be nice to put them on so, you know, if somebody wants to keep the jar, these will dissolve. But those won't come into play for a good 24 to 48 hours. You're going to need lots of berries. So it was hard for me to find a measurement on berries. I don't remember what my grandmother used to put in hers or how many berries I mean, but I do know that I read you need, for this recipe, you need about 5 cups of mashed berries. So I'm going to be making a lot, as you can see from all the berries. You're going to need just a little bit of butter. Yes, I said butter. And some fresh lemon juice. And then you're going to need, per batch, 7 cups of sugar. So we're not going for a sugar-free jelly. We're going for a jelly that is delicious and sweet, like we all know jellies are. And we're going to get started making it. The first thing I'm going to do is get the jars out, run them through some soapy water, rinse them really well, and then we will start moving on into the different steps into making the jelly. I almost forgot, you're going to need a pot to make the jelly in. So this is the pot, the baby pot for the jelly, and this is the big pot for the jars. So before I start washing them, I just wanted to see how many would fit in the pot. The whole package, one package, fits perfect in the pot. Again, these are 8-ounce jelly jars. And they do come with labels. I use these in my planner, but I don't use them on the jars. So I've washed the jars and the lids. I think it's very important, you guys, to be aware of bacteria, especially if you're giving these away. You do not want to take any chances. So make sure your hands are clean. Make sure the jars are clean. And at this point, I have a small pot of water on the stove. We're going to take all the lids and the little middle rounds and put them in that water. We're going to let that simmer. And that is where our little wand comes in, so we don't burn our hands when we are getting the lids out. So everybody into the pot. Might need to add a little bit more water. So you're going to want to let this simmer, but you're not going to want it to boil, so just keep an eye on it and keep the heat low. So I've got the jars submerged in the water, and we're just going to simmer these two. They're just getting warm for the jelly. So now that the lids and jars are on the stove simmering away, we're going to get started making the jelly. Now, you're going to have to just hull your strawberries. I'll show you how I do it using a spoon. And I'm going to be using my food processor, but the Pioneer Woman's recipe, she actually just lays them out on a big cookie sheet and uses a potato masher. Either way will work. This is a little bit faster, so I'm using my food processor, but you could definitely just use a good old hand potato masher. And for this recipe, you're going to want about 5 cups of crushed mashed strawberries. Okay, so I have some wax paper down, and I've already washed my berries, so I don't have to worry about cleaning them anymore at this point. We're just going to take our spoon and take off the little green stem. And then I'm just going to kind of make a pile, and I'll put them in the food processor in a minute. So it's very simple. You're just taking off the little green part, just like that. And keep going, and get your berries ready to become jelly. I think I remember using a spoon, and maybe I was using the spoon because I was young and didn't know my knife skills, but I think it would be quicker and easier just to use a knife to get the little tops off. So I've got a nice pile of strawberries. I'm going to get them in the food processor. And we're just going to kind of pulse it. Because we still want, you know, kind of chunky. All right. Look at that. That don't look bad at all. So we're going to measure out 5 cups. I'm not sure we have 5 cups, but we'll see. We're going to measure out 5 cups, put it in our stock pot, which is right back here. So right now I have 4 cups of the Parade strawberries in my pot. I need to cut a few more to get 5 cups. And here is 5. Perfect. Okay, now to our strawberries, we're going to add about 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm just using my little juicer, but you can certainly just juice it within your hands. My hands are kind of weak, so I prefer to use this because it's so handy and it keeps all the seeds. So I'm going to do the other half. It's basically 1 small lemon. There we go. So now we're going to mix in 1 box of Sure Gel Fruit Pectin. Straight in it goes. Just use a whisk and get it all incorporated really well. Then you're going to take 1 spat of butter, which is going to help keep the foam down that you're going to want to remove. So 1 spat of butter, and then we're going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. So you want to bring the strawberries and the fruit pectin and the lemon juice to a boil, like a major boil. And this is almost there. Okay, so now that it's boiling, we're going to add 7 cups of sugar all at once. So measure it out first and then mix it in. And you want to bring that to a boil. Mix it in really well. Okay, now that it's all incorporated, we are going to bring it to a boil and then skim off the foam on the top. Make sure you keep stirring so that sugar gets dissolved. Bring it to a boil. So you see the foam on top? That's what you're going to try to get off. Just scoop it off as much as you can while it's boiling and put it in a little bowl to discard. Just get as much of that foam off as you can. You don't want it. So now the jelly's ready. It's time to start canning. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over to my large stock pot. I'm going to be using my claw thing, my jar grabber, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put this over on the cutting board. Make sure all the water's out. Here is my large mouth funnel. I'm just going to scoop the jelly with this big ladle right into the jar. You want to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the top, and you want to be careful to have, not to have too much fruit or too much liquid. So there's the first one. There we go. And then remove our funnel. We are going to use our handy tool or a knife to run down the sides just to get the air out. Just like that. And then we're going to use our little magnetic wand and get a lid out. So we got part of that one, and we need this part. Shake it off and put it on. So I put my glove on so I can handle the lid, and I'm just going to screw it on. You don't want it to be tight. You just want it to, just be snug. So I've got, I think, 10 more of these to make, and I'm going to keep going. Okay, so these are ready to go into the big pot again to boil for about 12 minutes. I'm just taking a damp rag, wiping off the jars. You don't want the lids super tight. You just want them snug. And these will go, like I said, back into the water and boil for about 12 minutes, in which it will seal the middle part of the lids onto the jar. So back in the bath they go. Just so I don't burn myself, I have my gloves on. I have the jars in, and we're just going to lower them right into the hot water. And we're going to turn it on high and bring it to a boil and let it boil for about 12 minutes. So once it starts boiling, just set your timer, and once they have finished boiling at 12 minutes, turn off the heat and just let it sit there for about 5 minutes. Then you're going to remove the jars, you're going to let them be for 24 hours, and then you're going to check the seals. So now these are going to boil for 12 minutes. I have my timer on, and then we're going to remove them from the water and just let them be for 24 hours. So I kept the lid on because it seemed to come to a boil quicker and a stronger boil with the lid on, and it's been 12 minutes. So we're going to let these sit for 5 minutes. I turned off the heat, and we will take them out and let them be for 24 hours. So I just brought all of the jars of jelly out. I put them on this little cutting board. You will hear during this process the cans like popping, and that is actually a beautiful sound because that means they're sealing. So you're just going to leave them alone at this point for 24 hours, and then we're going to check the seals, and the jelly will be ready to be labeled and put in the pantry. And here's the strawberry jelly. And it tastes so good. It tastes almost like candy. It's amazing, you guys. It's not that hard either. Promise. So here's a quick berry tip. You can take any of your summer berries, clean them, and take the tops off like with the strawberries. Put them on a cookie sheet. Make sure they're not touching. Go ahead and put this in your freezer. Once the strawberries are frozen, you can take them and put them in like a big baggie and use them in numerous different recipes, including smoothies through, you know, fall and winter. So these are going straight in the freezer. In about 24 hours, the strawberries will be frozen solid, and we will switch them into a Ziploc baggie. So these are frozen now, and you can see they didn't stick together. They stuck a little bit to the cookie sheet, but I just kind of moved them around. And these are going to go into a baggie for smoothies or anything else I want to use during, you know, later months in the summer or winter. There's not a better berry that you're going to get for a smoothie than a fresh, hand-picked summer berry from a local organic farm. There's no better berry. So there's no sense in letting some of these go to waste. You know, I just don't waste food, you guys, and these will go into my freezer. And since these are going in the freezer and I don't know how long it will be before I use them again, I went ahead and double bagged them, and we will have them any time of the year, and that will protect them from freezer frost. So I hope you've enjoyed this video showing you exactly how to make it, and if you have any questions or comments, you definitely can leave those in the comment section below or on my blog. And again, just make sure they're sealed and they can go right into your pantry, and I've got quite a collection. I'll show you really quick. So here they are stored in my pantry. You can see they go like 3 deep, and they're stacked on top of each other, and I've already given a few away, so I have quite a few jars of strawberry jelly. I hope this inspires you to not just use strawberries, but whatever local berries you have, make some jelly, freeze the berries, take advantage of the seasonal fruit in your local area, and you know, you could definitely make this jelly with any kind of fruit. It's still the same. 5 cups of crushed fruit will make you 1 batch, about 8 or 9 jars. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more amazing recipes and videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.